I originally thought this wouldn't mean anything to you guys, but this is an end of this era, although the era is not ending yet.
So you gotta breathe, 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 breathe. Let it go and let it be.
Good morning, guys. I have been hard at work today, and Mary is actually working on a little project. She's doing some painting, and she's been working hard all morning to clear her lungs and get her body going. So why don't you hang out with her in the windowsill while she does some painting.
Alright, it's dinner time. I'm making some, ooh, that piece didn't look good. Starting with some greens because we've got those in the fridge. Some salad radishes. What are these? Oh wait, no. These are called salad turnips. These are breakfast radishes. I got those at a local farm. And then some sprouts. Wow, that's a lot of sprouts. Cool, we like sprouts. And then just some little peppers that I cut up. And we had a package of, it turns out it was taco meat. It was basically ground beef that had been flavored to be taco flavoring. So I chopped up an onion, actually a couple of little onions that I had gotten at that local farm, and made some taco meat. So what my plan was, like a taco salad, put the taco meat on the salad, and then do a little bit of guacamole and some sour cream. I hope that's a good plan. Guess we'll see what happens. Okay, Peter's home. I don't know if they knew you left, but he was out studying.
Yeah. Hi. This looks amazing.
Do you think we should put it on? I do.
Yeah, let's put it on. Perfect. Thank you for making this.
Absolutely. Bon appetit. There we go. Let us eat.
Lettuce.
Lettuce. Lettuce. We decided it was best for us all to get out.
Yeah. So we're gonna go in one store, walk around a little bit, and hopefully not cough too much.
Hopefully not. I actually need to get more
mucus cups.
I'm sick of that word.
Okay.
And I don't want to call it sputum.
Okay, so red solo cups. That's what we used to call them, right?
Yeah, true.
But now,
so now they're Disney cups.
Disney cups. Okay.
But that's
hopefully they carried them because we had trouble finding these Disney cups.
We can also look in Ocean State.
True.
Tomorrow's clinic.
about it?
I don't know. What was it? A month ago?
No,
Not even.
That was just when you started IVs.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
When Peter was like, so what do you think? What are you thinking? Like for clinic? And I was like, I have no idea. What are you thinking?
I have no idea. We're both on the same page.
And we're in the same page that we were 2 weeks ago. Okay, we did our human duties. We went to a store.
That was our duty.
I don't know. Peter wore the bag on his back like a turtle. That was entertaining. We didn't find anything that we needed or wanted, so it's kind of fruitless.
No, it was good to get out of the house, right?
Yeah.
Even though you're not feeling great.
We're gonna go home. I'm gonna do my vest. Yesterday I realized at like 7 o'clock, I was like, oh, I'm already done my vest. You know you're not feeling good when you like get in bedtime mode, like let's get ready for bed at 7 p.m. But I'm gonna go do my vest and maybe I will get an extra like energy boost. Or maybe not, and that'll be that. That's fine too. But I've gotta get ready for clinic tomorrow, get everything set for getting up a little bit earlier. So, let's go home.
Whoa.
I have to call it. It's done.
Do you see what I see?
What?
It's amazing.
Oh,
Honey,
thank you.
I love it so much.
thank you.
You're
It's
welcome.
our church
Yeah.
that we're soon saying goodbye to. I wanted to paint them a gift.
That is so special. I love it so much.
I was like trying to figure out if we would like have it as one of my paintings like on our store.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but like, well, on one hand I was like, you know, you guys haven't, well, many of you, some of you guys have been to our church. But in many ways, you know, the last 3.5 years, we came to this area and our life has been the church and vlogging. And obviously vlogging isn't changing. We're simply changing location, but it's the end of an era. So, I mean, you guys are part of this. So if you are interested, I'm gonna ask Peter to put it up on the store because, you know, I originally thought this wouldn't mean anything to you guys, but this is an end of this era, although the era is not ending yet. The timeline is still very much up in the air. There's no for sure moving date yet, but in a couple of weeks you guys will get to see our house. I'll get to see our house, but we will still be primarily living here in Massachusetts. But I've got to figure out how to get this paper. This is one of those like block paper pads, I guess, and I've got to figure out how to take it off. We'll figure that out. So what I learned, you know, I have only been painting for a couple of years, so I'm trying to learn. And I used this Stabilo marker. I remember my RA, my freshman year of college, she was from Germany, and she had Stabilo markers. Now, fast forward 12 years, you can get these in like the craft store. But back then, they were like German markers. They still are. But anyway, my parents went to Germany, or how did this go? I think my parents were going to Germany, and I asked my dad said, what would you like us to get for you in Germany? And I said, Stabilo markers. But he ended up actually finding them online. And now, like I said, since then, you can just get them at the craft store. Anyway, do you remember my painting called like A Window into Our Lives or something like that? It's like a window box with my little mushroom flowers. I used the Stabilo marker and like a piece of cardboard and outlined the windows, and that I was like happy with that. Like I liked how it made it darker. I liked it a lot. Well, for something with a straight edge, that works, but what I learned tonight is that it doesn't work great if you're freehanding, because it highlights, in my opinion, the imperfections. So what I did was I used the Stabilo marker to kind of make these arches. That's the like architecture of the church. So I added those arches, and then I didn't really like how it looked. So I took like a really thin paintbrush and I went over it with the paintbrush, and it kind of turned the Stabilo ink into the ink that was already on the paper. It turned it into kind of paint. So then it looked more like painted edges, because they are now painted edges. So anyway, I was just texting with a friend and I was like, I have to look past the imperfections. We're not going for perfection here. And she said, I don't see any imperfections. It's lovely. So that was very sweet. And yeah, it was fun. It was fun to paint, and I listened to some audiobooks while I painted, and yeah, it's actually something I used to do in college. I had most of my textbooks audio for, I specifically remember having a fever, being, I don't remember if I was on IVs. I don't think I was on IVs. I was having fevers, and I had this book I needed to read, and I laid in the bath and I listened to the textbook that I needed to read or listen to, and it was so helpful. But I listened to most of my textbooks through college audiobook instead of, well, I'd usually read at the same time, but audio works better for me, especially if I'm like fighting like not feeling good or sleepy from being up with IVs or whatever. Audio worked better for me. Anyway, I remember listening to some of my textbooks, and I took a cereal box. So I'm living in an apartment in downtown Chicago in undergrad, and I'm listening to my textbook, and I've got a cereal box, an empty cereal box, and I'm just like trying to absorb the textbook and like listen and understand it. And I just started cutting and taping, and I made like a little dollhouse. But I remember when I looked at that little cardboard dollhouse, I remembered each chapter that I was listening to and that portion of the chapter. And I was reminded of that today, because as I was painting, I was listening. It was about a man who had schizophrenia, and so as I was like finishing up the painting, I was like, oh, interesting. When I was drawing that arch, I was listening to this part of his life or whatever. So, random. I just realized that a lot of people often ask what kind of watercolors I use. I really like these Winsor & Newton. If you use a 50% off coupon, it would be about, oops, I've just dumped it. That was great. I think it is $26, but if you use 50% off, obviously, $13. And they are quite small. Maybe that's why I like it so much. I think it's called the travel pack. But they last a long, long time. And even though that one has gotten all the way to the bottom, like there's still plenty of paint in there. And like painting this, I didn't even open my palette. I just used the colors that I have on the palette board or whatever that thing's called. So that's what I use. I've used lots of different paint brushes. This was a gift. It was the brand, it was this brand, the Winsor & Newton brand. My favorite paper is this one. Yeah, Arches, what is it? It says cold pressed, whatever. It's kind of chunky. I kind of like it. This one is attached, and I guess the benefit is that the paper stays really flat. I guess that's true. Yeah, okay. Maybe I appreciate that. Cool. I am completely 100% exhausted, so I'm gonna do my best, but I'm very happy that
Proud of you.
I had a better day than yesterday just overall, so.
Yeah.
Keep on keeping on, you guys, as always.
As always,
I'll
we'll see you tomorrow.
at the hospital.
Good night. Good night, my Holly.